want a pony? You want a pony too? Like a real pony? Or a toy pony? Uh-oh. A real cat? You want a cat too? You so, okay. Well, have you girls been on the good list to get a real pony and a real cat? What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Look at Papa. Cheese.
Say Summer Santa.
Say thank you, Santa.
You're welcome, lady. Would you like a piece of candy?
You gonna sing happy birthday to Celeste?
Oh yeah. Let me sing happy birthday to you, okay? This is Cece, right?
Yes.
Okay, Cece, can you tell me how old you're going to be next week? Should be 3? Show me 3. How many 3? This 3? And that?
She's looking.
Oh, you ready?
Close.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cece. Happy birthday to you.
All right, thank you.
Happy birthday, girls. Let me get you a piece of...
The night was quiet, the kind of stillness that feels unnatural. A perfect suburban silence hung over Saratoga Trail in Frederick, Colorado. Streetlights glowed pale amber against trimmed lawns and parked cars, illuminating the house that everyone thought was filled with happiness. Inside, a father, a mother, and 2 little girls slept under the same roof. To the outside world, they were a picture of the American dream. But inside that house, something was coming undone. It was August 13th, 2018, a date that would soon be burned into the public consciousness. But that night began like any other, routine, ordinary, deceptively calm. Sean and Watts, 34 years old, had just returned from a business trip. She was tired but happy to be home, eager to crawl into her own bed, to see her husband, to hold him again. The front door camera of her friend's car captured her arriving just before 2 a.m., suitcase in hand. She waved goodnight and disappeared into the house. No one would ever see her alive again. That house, 2825 Saratoga Trail, looked no different from its neighbors. 2 stories, pale gray walls, a neat yard, a quiet street. Could have been anyone's dream home. But inside, the shadows were thick. The marriage that had once felt unbreakable was now fractured, hollow, barely held together by the appearance of stability. Sean N believed in appearances. Her social media posts overflowed with smiles, birthday parties, family vacations. Her captions were filled with gratitude. She wrote about how lucky she was to have Chris, her rock, her soulmate. To anyone scrolling past, it looked like love. It looked like forever. Chris Watts was 33, quiet and polite. To his co-workers, he was dependable, an introvert who kept to himself but never caused trouble. He worked long hours for Anadarko Petroleum, spending his days at oil sites scattered across Colorado's plains. He loved cars, he loved his girls, and in every photograph, he looked like the kind of man who had found purpose in fatherhood. But looks can lie. Behind the smiles, there was pressure. Debt weighed on them. The 5-bedroom house they'd bought in 2013 had become more burden than dream. They had filed for bankruptcy in 2015. Credit cards maxed, bills overdue. But Sean N pushed forward, selling health products online, convincing herself that they were on the verge of something better. She told friends that she had to believe it. She had to, because if she didn't, who would? To understand what happened next, you have to understand them. Sean N was driven, organized, perfectionist, intense in her love. She wanted to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother. Her social media posts were proof. Pictures of her daughters in matching outfits, videos of bedtime songs, clips of Chris walking through the door after work and being tackled by 2 squealing little girls. She documented everything. But Chris wasn't the same man anymore. The quiet confidence that had once made him charming had turned inward, detached. Something in him was fading, replaced by a kind of emptiness. When Shannon spoke, he nodded. When she reached for him, he froze. When she smiled, he looked away. By early summer, their marriage was unraveling in ways neither could admit. Sean and sensed it. She texted friends, saying Chris wasn't himself, that he'd stopped touching her, stopped talking, stopped caring. She told one friend, "I don't know who he is anymore," but she still hoped that love could fix it. In June, Sean found out she was pregnant. She recorded the moment she told Chris. A little white onesie. The words, "Oops, we did it again," printed on it. On video, Chris smiled softly, hugged her, and said he was happy. But something in his eyes was missing. Behind that forced smile was calculation. He didn't want another child. He wanted out. At first, it was subtle. He began spending more time away from home, working late, heading to the gym, going for runs. Sean chalked it up to stress. But it wasn't stress. It was someone else. Her name was Nicole Kessinger. She worked at the same oil company. Smart, independent, and unsuspecting, she met Chris in early June. He told her he was separated, that his marriage was ending. He said he was sleeping in the basement. He said he had no future with his wife. He painted himself as a victim of circumstance, a good man trapped in a loveless marriage. Nicole believed him. They started seeing each other after work, meeting secretly, exchanging messages late into the night. She thought he was single. She thought his daughters were part of a difficult past he was trying to manage. In truth, he was living two lives. One filled with family photos and bedtime routines, the other filled with lies and lust. Sean had no idea. As July arrived, the emotional distance grew impossible to ignore. Sean took the girls to North Carolina for a 5-week family visit. Chris stayed behind. During those weeks, he was free. He worked out, lost weight, changed his diet. He texted Nicole constantly. He told her he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. They went on dates, shared hotel rooms, took pictures at the dunes in the Colorado sun. He deleted messages, cleared his history, hid his tracks. But his mind was shifting, darkening. He was building a fantasy world where his wife and daughters didn't exist. Sean tried to keep the connection alive from across the country. She texted him goodnight every evening, sent him pictures of the girls playing on the beach. But his responses were short, cold. He stopped saying, "I love you." He stopped asking about their day. She noticed, and she started to worry. In one message, she told a friend, "I feel like I'm losing him." When she returned to Colorado in early August, she hoped things would get better. Instead, she found a stranger in her home. He wouldn't touch her, wouldn't look at her, wouldn't even sleep in the same bed. He told her he didn't know if he wanted the marriage anymore, that maybe they'd grown apart. She begged him to talk, to explain. But the only words he offered were quiet, empty apologies. Sean didn't know it, but by then, he had already made his decision. He was going to start over. He wanted to erase the life he had built and replace it with another. But starting over meant removing the one thing that tied him to his past. His family. The days before August 13th were filled with tension. Friends noticed her anxiety. She texted one, "I don't know what's happening to my husband." Another, "Something's wrong. He's not the same." But Sean was still hopeful. She had planned a trip to Arizona for work, and when she returned, she was determined to fix everything. Before she left, she wrote Chris a heartfelt letter. She told him she loved him, that she wanted to rebuild what they had, that their children deserved to grow up in a home filled with love. She tucked it into her suitcase, waiting to give it to him when she came back. When she landed back in Colorado just before 2 a.m. on August 13th, she was ready to try again. Her friend, Nicole Atkinson, had dropped her off. She watched Sean walk up the driveway, wave, and disappear into the dark house. The porch light flickered once, then steadied. The neighborhood slept. Inside, Sean placed her luggage near the stairs, kicked off her shoes, and climbed quietly to the bedroom. Chris was awake. He had been waiting. What happened next is known only through his later confession. Cold, emotionless, and horrifying. But in those moments before the world awoke, before the police were called, before the story made headlines, everything still looked normal. The house was still. The air was calm. 2 little girls were asleep in their rooms. dreaming the innocent dreams of children who believed they were safe. Sean and, exhausted from her trip, wanted to talk. She wanted to know if they could fix this. She wanted to understand what had happened to the man she married. Chris told her he didn't love her anymore. He told her he wanted to end it. Sean and, pregnant with their son, must have felt the floor collapse beneath her. She cried, pleaded, asked why. And then, in a moment that defies comprehension, something inside him snapped. The man who had once whispered, "I love you," became the man who would end her life. But that moment, that unspeakable act, would remain hidden for hours. The world outside still turned, unaware that inside the gray house on Saratoga Trail, a family was already gone. Later that morning, when Sean and missed her doctor's appointment and stopped answering her phone, her friend Nicole grew worried. She called, texted, got no answer. She went to the house, rang the bell, knocked on the door. No one came. That's when she called the police.
County Communications, this is Stacy. Hi, Stacy. My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night because we were out of town together, and we were on the way back from the airport, and she's having issues, and she's pregnant. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning, and I've gone to her house, and her car's there, and stuff like that, but she won't answer the door, she won't answer phone calls, she won't answer text messages, and I'm just really, really concerned, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning, and she didn't go to it, and I don't know what to do. I've called him and talked to him, and he said that she went on a play date with her other 2 daughters, but, like, if she went on a play date, they're both in car seats, why would she not take her car? Perfectly understandable. Do you happen to know her address, Nicole? I'm at the Senate outside the house. It's 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick. And then I said, like, Chris, can you just come home and check to make sure she's okay? Because the shoes she wears every single day are right inside her door. And he was like, yeah, I'll be there in 3 minutes. Well, that was 45 minutes ago. And I called him and asked him again, can you please come home? And he's like, I'm 45 minutes out. Okay, Nicole, I'll go ahead and call in. I just need you, if you could please repeat her address to make sure I have it entered correctly. 2825 Saratoga. It's SARTOGATR. Okay. And the thing stands for trail. Thank you. And can I get a phone number that you're calling me from? Area code first. 970. Thank you. Okay, Nicole, tell me exactly what happened. So, we were out of town for work, and we flew in last night. Our flight got delayed, and I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant, and she wasn't feeling well over the weekend, and she was very, like, distraught and out of the sorts because her and her husband are having issues. So, because she wasn't, like, eating or drinking and stuff like that. So then this morning, I was like, let me know if you need me to take you to your doctor's appointment because you're not feeling well. And I have called and texted. I've come to her house. She's not answering the door. She's not responding to text messages, phone calls. I've had other friends reach out to her. None of us can get her to respond to us. They have 2 little girls that are 3 and 4. I mean, there's no movement in the house whatsoever. And he states that she didn't take them to daycare and was going to go on a play date, but they're both in car seats and her car is here. What's her name? It's in the garage. And I'm like, well, huh? What's her name? Shanann Watts. It's SHANANN Watts, WATTS. Do you know her date of birth or how old she might be? Oh, if you would have asked me that, I would know it. That's okay. If you just know her approximate age, that's take that into. She's in her 20s, early 30s. Okay. Bear with me here one moment. When was the last time that you heard from her? When I dropped her off at her house, I watched her, made sure she got in the house. That was at 2 a.m. It was actually 1:55. I literally lived like 5-10 minutes from her. And her vehicle is it parked in the garage? Yes. It's a white Lexus. Okay. And I probably, because I was concerned, I know I don't want to get a doctor's office in trouble, but I went to the doctor's office because I've been used in as doctors, and I said, I know you can't give me things because of HIPAA, but can you just tell me if she showed up at her appointment this morning? And the lady was like, no, she did not. Okay. Is that's unusual behavior for her to not show up to her doctor's appointment? No. Okay. No. Pregnancy, like, she was so excited and then got blindsided from her husband that he wanted to separate a week ago. And her husband's name is Chris? Yes, his name is Chris Watts. And he told you that she went on a play date today with the girls. Okay. Yeah, with their 4-year-old. And she told me last night when we were driving home, she's like, the morning's going to suck because I have to take the girls to daycare tomorrow. And I made the statement, well, you could keep them home with you. And she's like, no, that'd be more exhausting. She's like, I have to get up and take them because I have a doctor's appointment at 9. Bear with me here one moment. I'm just typing this information in the call here. And I'm not trying to cause problems more between them. I just want to know she's okay. Okay. What's her phone number? No, give me 1 second and I'll look it up for you. It is 910-850-3286. Okay. And Chris told you that he was on his way. Yes, I just talked to him. Well, I talked to the junior. One of our other friends did via text because I was going to the doctor's office, and she said he would be here in about 30 minutes, and that was at 1:08. And then I called him and said, Chris, I'm at your house. I'm not trying to cause drama or anything. I just need to know your wife's okay. I was like, where are you? And he was like, I'm on I-70. I'm about a half hour to 45 minutes out. And I just said, okay. And then I hung up and called you guys because I'm just worried. Okay, Nicole, what kind of vehicle are you in right now? I'm in a white Dodge Dart. Okay. Alrighty, we do have a call in. Nicole, we'll have an officer come out that way as soon as we can. I would just advise you, to not try to make entry into the house or anything like that until the officers can get there. In the meantime, if you do hear from her, just give us a call back and let us know, okay? Okay. All right, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye. 2825 Saratoga Trail of a party who's checking on a friend who's pregnant, who's not answering the door.
When officers arrived, they found the house quiet and locked. Chris showed up minutes later, calm, polite, confused, or pretending to be. He told them Sean and must have gone somewhere with the kids. He opened the garage. Her car was still there. Her purse, phone, and keys sat on the kitchen counter. The children's car seats were in the back seat. Everything she would have needed to leave was untouched. Something was very wrong. A neighbor offered footage from his doorbell camera, showing Chris backing his truck into the garage early that morning. Something he never did. He told police it was for work equipment. But the look on his face, the way his hands trembled, the way his voice cracked when he spoke, it all felt wrong. The perfect husband was slipping. That evening, when the story first hit the local news, Chris stood before the cameras and begged for their return. His voice quivered as he said their names. Sean and Bella, Celeste, please come home. But his eyes told another story.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I want everybody to just come home. Like, wherever they're at, come home.
He already knew they never would. In the days that followed, the truth would begin to surface. Every lie he told would be peeled back, every secret exposed. But that is a story for another night. Because what happened next, the search, the discovery, the confession, belongs to another chapter. This chapter ends in silence. A still house, a broken illusion, a man standing in his driveway pretending to be a victim, when in truth he had already destroyed everything he once claimed to love. They were his life, and he took them all away. In the next part, we step deeper into the investigation, into the cracks of deception, the forensics, and the moment the truth could no longer hide. If you've been drawn into this story, if you want to see how darkness can live behind the brightest smiles, subscribe to True Crime Log, like this video, and turn on notifications, because this story is only just beginning.